Okay, so we've got a bunch of vertices all connected up, and they're labeled A to H. The farmer's dog enjoys running around this area. Oh, isn't that nice? Stopping on the bush every way. The number of edges joins the vertices gives the shortest distance in meters between bushes. Explain why the dog would not follow an Euler circuit through this network. Euler circuit. So Euler, you need Euler circuit. Euler circuit. You can only do this. Only possible if zero odd vertices. Or another way to say it must be all even is another way to phrase that. They're all even. All right. So if you look, there's an odd. There's an odd. F and E are odd. So can't do it. Can't do it being the Euler circuit. That one's fairly straightforward for A. Now, if the dog follows the shortest Hamiltonian path, right, you've got to name a bush at which the dog could start and finish at. Lots of possible answers for this, so I can grab my highlighter pen. If you look, 60 is a big number, so I want to try and avoid using that 60. So if I want to start avoid the 60, I could start at C and go to B to ground like this. Now, that was fairly straightforward because there's no choices involved. I've got to go up to H and down to E and then across to D. So you can just see the numbers I've missed are 40 and 25. That gives me a total of 85. So in that case, I was starting at C and I finished at D. You could swap those around. You could start at D and finish at C. Both of those would be okay. But our magic number there was 85. Could we do better than that? Well, let's have a think. 85 again. So the other thing that sort of strikes me about this is, again, on this triangle, we want to avoid some of these big numbers. Let's get our highlighter pen out again. If we were to say try and avoid the 45, what would happen? So this 45 here. So we would either start at F or H. So let's start at H, would go down to E, around, and then to here. Oh, we've done too many lines there, haven't we? Let's just try that again. We did the 45. We're avoiding the 45, and we'll go. We've got to have the 35 to get to H. We can actually avoid the 40. We can actually go around like that, and we'll be avoiding 40 and 45. That's 85 again. So actually, that's another possibility. We could be doing the pair of starting at H and finishing at D, or starting at D and finishing at H, and we'd avoid 85 again. So that's another answer. And then this is going to be fun because, believe it or not, there is another possible answer. If we try and avoid the 50 here, that means, let's say we start at G, would go around, and we could go like that, and we'd be avoiding the 50 and the 35, which also makes 85. So you could also do another path, which would be G to H, or of course could be H to G, depending on which way you go around in that loop. So there's quite a few answers to this one. I thought the most obvious one to choose was what I originally did, which is because the 60 being the highest one, trying to avoid that one. And I'm going to say we went from C to D, but there were lots of possible answers there. Now the sum of all distances shown on the graph is 310. Whew. Isn't that nice of them? Don't have to do any adding. It is 310. And it says the dog starts and finishes at F. So we're starting and finishing here, and runs along every edge of the network. So we all the way along every edge. call that's 310, but now we're at E. The thing is, you got to go back to F, so you got to repeat the lowest number one, which is at 25. So the only way to get back to F was to do the 310, which is every edge, and then we found ourselves at E, so we got to go E to F again, so we got to add another 25. So that gives us the shortest distance of being 335 meters. We got to use our units, people.